This is a story about the stories we tell ourselves, the stories we live out in the world, and the space between those two. It's about how we love, how we lose, and how we recover, or not, through the stories we make up in our heads. I'm Robin Rice, and this is also my story. Chapter 29. My Henry, My Home. Home is not a place. It's a story, a feeling, a sense of arrival, a need met, a recognition, a resting, a safety, a knowing, a Mecca of the heart, a satisfaction of the soul. To be honest, I've been trying to write about home ever since I got the assignment from an English professor in college. I tried and got a decent grade, but it was crap. And all these years later, I'm still at a loss for words. But it's important, especially at this point in our story. So, here goes, again. The story of home comes from the deepest part of us, a truth some search for but never find. A ringing of the bell others find and then lose. Lucky those who find and keep a sense of home until the very end. Ulysses knew all about home, but only by being kept from it for 10 long years. His Odyssey was not only a great and fantastical tale, but an illumination of what home can mean. In story, home can only be an ideal. Its meaningful appearance can arrive in a house or another geography, but also, just as readily, in the heart of another. I even think that those who label some foods soul food really mean home food. So maybe home is simply a house with soul in it. If you've always had a home, you can't really understand what home offers. Like good parents, you don't know what it's like to have anything less. If you've never had a home or good parents, you can only imagine. You cannot know. Everyone needs a home, not only to live in, but to aspire to. A personal holy grail, a space from which a true center might emerge, a reason to become a pilgrim to the greater journey of life. What it seems most people don't think about, or maybe don't believe, is that home must be found within if it is to be recognized externally. Only then can it appear as a reflection in the real world, a material reality we can point to, a physical model of the ideal. Tragically, blasphemously, our current culture has deemed money, not home, our most desired destination. Home steps aside for the grand house with a trendy tiled backsplash, perfecting that much-desired open-concept kitchen. We can buy a second home, third home, fourth home, but this only serves to make the ideal of home more and more meaningless. More house does not make for more home. The beauty of a good story is that it always, in some way points to home. We believe that if we are dedicated, honorable, true, just, sincere, passionate, we will find our home. If not out there, then at least in here, in us, where meaning lives. For me, home and love were always synonymous. I'd missed out on both, at least with any sense of stability. Love was what would make my home, my holy, my heaven. Just because I had not found it, yet, didn't mean I didn't know that. I always knew that. And so it was, finally, after more than 40 years of living, my big, grand, over-the-top, all-mine love story arrived. It began, funnily enough, with a house. Enter the labyrinth. After almost 6 years in the house I'd bought after my divorce, I knew it was time to move. Housing prices had soared and I could make a decent profit. Besides, the house I was currently living in was one where I did not follow my intuition. Everyone but me thought it was perfect. In fact, it had the leftover stench of deep depression from the previous owner, and I could not cleanse it, however much I tried. I began looking casually for a new home, having no idea of what I really wanted. Lots of light, for sure. Easy driving to the schools. It was tricky, because it was just me every other week, and just me and my now grade school-age kids on the alternate weeks. I didn't need much, but together we needed a little more. So when a handmade sign appeared on the commute to the kids' summer camp, I turned down the street feeling led. A mile or so in, to the right and directly across from a large river, sat a brand new 4-bedroom home with a fully finished basement. There was a water view from what I knew I'd choose as my bedroom, even before seeing inside. I had the money, but that much space just wasn't needed. What was I going to do with it? I booked a showing anyway, stepped inside and felt, yes. Everything in my intuition said, this is the house. I still wasn't sure, though, so I did something both strange and illegal. I knew the landlord kept the key above the door. Sorry if you're listening to this now, Bruce. And since the house was empty, I went in. With no lights on, near midnight one evening, I sat in the water view room and meditated quietly. I wanted to feel if this place was mine. It was so irrational. In that silence, a faint blue lady came up out of the water, through the window, and enveloped the room. No, really, I saw her. She said she wanted me to be nearer to her, the blue lady of the water, to live near her, that I was always meant to be near water and would be very happy there. It's crazy, I said. It won't seem so soon, she replied, and in her words, I felt worlds opening up. I understood. Something was coming, something I could not see yet. Once again, I would have to trust my visions. Side note, you'll find another version of the Blue Lady in my book, Venus for a Day, a story which came to me soon after I moved in. She was a nod to this visit. I wanted to argue, and probably did a bit more, but only with myself. You don't argue with visitors like that. I took the house, moved my luxury bed into the bedroom with a water and river goddess view, and did my best to fill the shelves so the house looked like a home. With so much room, most went bare. I still felt silly, impulsive, and maybe stupid. What was my life coming to? Aliens? Banishing curses? Ritual magic? Blue ladies? A big house by the water to be lonely in? I was pushing the story too far, I thought, trying to make things work that probably didn't. But also somehow knowing something would work, because I was still happier than I'd ever been. My 40s were turning out to be the best decade ever, and it was just getting started. In less than 6 months, the house was full, almost overfull. I'd been given full custody of one child and full physical custody of the other, so my everyday life was once again as a full-time mom. I cannot tell you how happy this made me. Finally, I didn't have to part with the kids every week. Then, soon after, there he was, my Henry, my beloved, and his 2 college-age children on and off. Overnight, the house was full of stuff, cooking stuff, garage stuff, attic stuff, people stuff, life stuff. A beautiful mess of a home. But a home. My home. His home. Our home. I called him Scotty, for his Scottish roots. There's a lot of this love story I can't tell you, because so much of it is not mine to tell. How we came together, all the hurdles jumped through, what we sacrificed. In fact, I promised myself when I began writing this book that I'd be careful to share only my stories and to keep anyone alive anonymous. Only the dead people were fair story game. This was especially true for close family, including my children. I can say it was an honorable journey with Scotty, though, which was important to me. I remember feeding each other dolmas in an open field on our first date and snapping a photo of him in his truck. I always said he looked like he stepped out of a J. Crew catalog. Excessively handsome, so much so I didn't really believe he was interested in me at first. Old ladies and even teenage girls swooned over his chiseled jaw and six-pack abs. I remember, early on, meeting each other halfway between his town and mine in a town known for its healing waters, our favorite booth and our favorite diner. A 4th of July celebration as our hearts boomed with the fireworks, and our first kiss later that night in my kitchen. The moment I fell in love, over the phone, and how it felt like falling. Really falling into something beautiful, some other reality, some glorious wormhole. Him finding a cowboy hat on our trip to see the shamans in Ecuador, and how we would never be seen without one again. A snowstorm we were caught in, and the morning after, driving through pure white drifts in silence. How a tree dropped a massive branch just a few seconds after we passed it, and how I thought, I could have died happy in that moment. A kiss on a sidewalk that was so enchanting a young guy passing by said, "Nice kiss." Marriages in every country we traveled to, with 4 different sets of rings, always just the 2 of us though, and never legally. Breakfast of cheesy grits with fried eggs in bowls we bought together. He cooked, I cleaned, always. Wine tasting as we drove around the Finger Lakes. Making dinner in the kitchen and love on the couch at Terry's beach house on the many weekends she gifted us its use. We rode around in her little golf cart and could be found ditching it to fool around in the woods. Fake Oktoberfests in the basement of his parents' retirement home, with Ellis and Janie becoming so very dear to me. So much so I called them my parents in love. I remember never again being attracted to another man, not once. I remember musician Peter Mayer making a call to sing one of our favorite songs from our CD, Million Year Mind, on Scotty's daughter's wedding day. Now touch the air softly, step gently, 1, 2. I'll love you till roses are robin's egg blue. I'll love you till gravel is eaten for bread, and lemons are orange, and lavender is red. But most of all, the many cards and notes given to me on so many occasions. Dearest Robin, when I first felt you behind me, a voice inside said, "Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you." It took the rest of me a little time to understand how it was possible for you to fill me so completely, to fit so perfectly beside me. But now I do. Thanks for spending your second half-century with me. And then he quoted another Peter Mayer song we both loved. This year in flight together has been fun. What say we make one more circle around the sun? Forever your Scotty. From a card with a Pueblo wedding prayer on it, I add my breath to your breath that our days belong upon the earth, that the days of our people belong, that we shall be as one person, that we may finish our road together. And inside the card, beloved Robin, our long journey together has just begun anew. I walk beside you no matter what we encounter along the way. Smooth, wide byway or a trail that is rocky and steep, we travel together. Together, we burn brightly as one flame. You are truly the other half to my whole. Love, Scotty. Beloved Robin, we have limitless possibilities, an open ocean on which we can steer any course, or just sit and watch the water hand in hand. I love you, I love you, I love you. Scotty. Beloved Robin, my love for you is timeless and knows no boundaries. You are the water that runs over my stones, the earth that holds my roots, the sun that shines upon my face. Love, Scotty. Robin, there are so few years in a lifetime, and you bring so much richness to my being. You are the center of my universe, and I will forever revolve around you, moving closer and closer. I look forward to having you as my date for the rest of my years. XXXOOO, Scotty. And if you will indulge me just one more. Beloved Robin, you are part of my soul. No matter how far apart we may find ourselves, you are part of me, intimately connected, flowing through me like my lifeblood. We are eternal together. 5, 25, 50 years, I say yes. Forever yours, Scotty. So, there it was. My Henry, my Scotty, my yes. Perfect, whole, mine, ours, together. In that house of the Blue Lady, the aloneness of my long solo life was filled with new joy, new people, and so many new things. With this kind of love standing behind me, I could finally rest. With Scotty's roots to hold me and my wings set to fly, I had everything I needed. I knew there was nothing, absolutely nothing to hold me back. Turns out, as I long suspected, home can heal. When it steps out of your imagination and into your life, things happen that you never thought could. It's as Peter Mayer sings, so the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. It sounds perfect because it was. Now, though, 20 years after that first shared dolma, I must travel back in time to make a request of the universe. Please, dear universe, don't tell her, the me that I was, that forever, like home, is only an ideal, a wish, a hope, an intention. Do not give her any idea, any inkling, any intuition that forever will last only 12 beautiful years. Do not tell her that her heart will be crushed yet again, and her faith in everything good shattered. Don't tell her, not yet. She'd pull back, she'd resist, she'd not trust. She'd not fall so fully into love, so fully into home. If she knew, she'd give less than her whole heart. She wouldn't create all that she was capable of, show up to all that love gave her the courage for. She would not rise to all that she was called to do. Don't tell her forever won't be. Not yet. Enter your labyrinth at BeWhoYouAre.com.